Welcome to this lecture on how to preserve your data correctly. If you want to preserve your data for the long term, it requires a little bit more effort than simply just storing it. The thing is that your data automatically gets lost for several reasons. The first reason is bit rot. So you may never have heard of this, but bit rot is the phenomenon that the bits, the zeros and ones in your data, they are made of electrical streams. If these level off, a 1 becomes a 0 or the other way around. So your data can become corrupted and you cannot open the file anymore. Bit rot occurs automatically, so it will always happen. It's a matter of chance. Another reason why your data can get lost is because you use outdated file formats. So maybe you remember WordPerfect, but you might have a tough time trying to find a program that can open that still. So that can be another reason. The third reason can be that you used storage media that becomes outdated or corrupt. So maybe you remember these cassette tapes where the tape comes out and you have to roll that back in or it breaks and then you cannot play it anymore. So your media is also a source of problems. You can also have a simple disaster that strikes your storage location and then your data can also get lost. A problem of a different kind is if the responsible person goes away and nobody knows how to open the data or how to access the data. In the same sense, you can also have an archive, if you have a little archive and you stored all your data there to preserve it, and it just goes into oblivion. So nobody knows anymore where it is or what's in it. So as you already heard, for all these reasons, preserving your data correctly will take a little bit of effort. The good news is that there are several ways that you can alleviate these problems. So you can mitigate the risks by having an active regime to keep your data safe for the coming period. The first strategy is replication. So you keep more than one replica of the data on more than one location. If something happens on one location, you still have the replica at the other location. To alleviate bit rot, you can check the data for bit rot having occurred. So if you have a verifier for your data, this will summarize the content, and if you then compare the verifiers between the replicates, you can check if one of the replicates has gone bad. This works as follows. So a verifier makes a summary of the content of your data and is completely independent of the format of your data. So if you store it as text or as doc file, doesn't matter. If you change one letter, then the verifier will have a completely different number. MD5 sum is an example of such a verifier. So in your data management plan, you can say, every year I will check all of my replicates with my verifier if my verifier is the same, and if not, I will replace the faulty copy with a copy that was still good. Another measure that you can take is refreshing. So you bring your data to new media on settled times. So in your data management plan, you can say, for instance, you have your data on CD as an archive. Every 4 years, I will transfer all of my data from the old CDs to the new CDs, so my data can last another 4 years. So it depends a little bit on the lifespan of the media on which you store your data. To alleviate the effect that the data goes into oblivion, you can appoint a responsible person that's dedicated to keep the archive data safe. So not a person that goes away very quickly, but that stays there and is responsible for the data. And if you have a catalog for your archive, then you can advertise that and you are sure that everybody knows the archive exists and what data is in there. Thank you for listening.